I saw the Diamond fight, baby. And I want to thank everybody for all the DMs and messages I got. I can't even imagine what Dustin got. Just by being a friend of Dustin's, I must have got 4,000 messages congratulating me on that man's victory. And he's a victory man. If you saw the fight, you know, he came out with a game plan, which it showed a lot of evolution of him as a fighter. I thought this is, you know, there's two ways that I look at Dustin. I look at him as a friend and somebody that I care about, and then I look at him as a fighter. You know, so you know, on the fighting side, I think a lot of people expected him to just come out and be, you know, Captain Punchy out there, you know. Fucking Benedict Fists out there. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Larry Knuckles out there just bucking the trend, baby, you know? And just hoping for the best. But he came out revamped. I mean, he would be a vampire, but with the sharp teeth on the bottom. You feel me? He came out revamped. And he had a plan. And he executed it, man. And there was something about him winning. And I felt this in a lot of people that were cheering him on, that you just felt hopeful about stuff in your own life or things in the world. You know, you felt like, you know, the sun was going to come up tomorrow. You just felt like that a little. And I love what his wife said at the end of the fight. Y'all aren't going to, don't doubt my husband again. Something like that. You know, they just have never paid him fair. They've never paid him fair. And for him to be there in that hotel for 2 weeks, and he's looking out, and Conor's out there on that yacht, on that barge. Conor's owns a damn barge. You know, Conor's out there just, and I mean, I don't know if he could see it from his hotel window or not, but if that doesn't create some determination in you, but I didn't doubt him, man. I was definitely scared for him because Conor's a lethal man. He's got that freaking shoulder snake, baby, that freaking arm, dog. And his arm is a lot longer than it looks. Jesus. You know, his arm, you could row a boat with his arm. You know, he got a long arm, and yeah, it was just amazing, man. It just, you know, I was excited for Dustin as a fighter. I was excited for Dustin as a person as well, and about his future. And yeah, it was just, man, I was just elated. I was literally swinging from the rafters of a bar that we went to watch it at. Like they had some steel beams, and I'm in there just swinging back and forth like a chimp. I actually hurt my neck swinging on it. So I've had neck pain, and now I just, you know, I just have more. But I mean, I thought it was a good fight. You know, it was a quick fight, but I thought it was a good fight. I mean, Conor was still landing some blows. You know, Dustin was hitting him with those kicks. I mean, it was just a lot going on. Man, it was, but I was excited. I was excited, man. Because I picked the wrong guy a lot of times in fights, and, you know, betting on the Colts or different shit like that. To go to the horse races, you lose. You know, you lose on, you know, you bet on, you know, $60 on frickin', you know, Donnie's Enemy to come in third or whatever. Or, you know, whatever it is, Starburst Enema. All horses have the weirdest names. But finally to get, you know, just to get it right. And I won $1,000 from your boy Brandon Shopvac. And here was the funniest thing was, I got a text from Dustin after the fight, and it said, tell Brennan he owes you that. Tell Brennan he owes you that money. That's what he said, man. So I just can't imagine. I think also there was a level of just feeling proud of for Dustin, you know, and feeling proud for him. And yeah, I think there was something about, it was like, man, I can't imagine how awesome he must feel right now. Just how proud of himself he must feel, and just how deservant. You finally, damn, his experience with the UFC seemed like he's the one, he goes up to the ATM and he's got to put in money. And finally, it comes out, and, I think, I think he's transcended the sport, and, I've told him that, and I'm excited to see his future. I'm excited to see what he does inside of the ring and then outside of the ring. I think on the fighting side, it's interesting. How do you figure out who he fights next? Because, if you go for the Conor trilogy, that's right there, but he just beat him, and it's been 5 years since the last one. Like, I agree with Dustin that Michael Chandler, who I love, Michael Chandler's, and I hope to have him back in here soon, and but he should have to fight more guys. I understand Dustin's point of view. Man, I felt bad for Dan Hooker. I really like Dan Hooker. He seemed like a really cool guy. I also thought the whole way the fight came together was amazing. Conor McGregor is Irish, man. He's an Irish man, and I love Ireland. Shout out Dublin. You feel me? And shout out Scotland as well, man. And Scotland is just drunk Ireland. Let's be honest, And I, what I thought that, the whole thing kind of started, I may be wrong, but it started as a charitable thing. Conor and Dustin were going to fight for charity to raise money for their charities. And then UFC saw that and got involved, and so the whole thing started from a place of charity. I thought that Conor was, he's a businessman now. He's got to wake up the next day and do business. He's got, there's a difference when you go from being an athlete to the owner of the gym. You're doing two different things. It's two different brains. And I'm not saying that Conor's not still one of the greatest fighters of all time. I believe it is. I just watched all of his fights in the past month. I remember after I watched all of his fights, literally I texted Dustin. I said, "Hey man, how's your head, man? How you feeling? I was fucking scared, dude. I hurt my neck watching the fight. That's how excited I was. But no, I thought that Conor was a class act, and I thought that Dustin, I'm just obviously glad that he won, and there's just no, you can't deny him anymore. And I felt his angst after the fight. You could feel his angst, he's angsted out. And yeah, he just said being there for 2 weeks, and, at a certain point, if Dana, whatever the man's name is, Dana Wallace or whatever, I don't know what his name is, but Dana, if Big Dana, the white money man, if you don't treat your employees well enough at some point, then they're going to lose the desire to work with you. And I'm just, look, I don't know. I don't know anything. She may be listening to this saying, man, Theo doesn't know anything. And you would be right. But I just, you gotta pay your employees. You gotta pay them. You gotta want them to ride while you ride. And I think people could say, well, Conor's the one that sells the tickets and this and that, and some of that's fair, very fair. What Conor's done for that sport is amazing. And I'm new to the sport. I don't know that much. But I think you're in the place now where you have to, where you want to pay the man. And I think that, who was James J. Braddock? Where was he from? Oh, he's an American boxer. Well, I think you got a new James J. Braddock, man. That's what it felt like. the hot sauce boss, baby. That's Cinderella man himself, Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And you know we love him here. But I was ecstatic, man. I was so you know, I was kind of bummed for Conor. I mean, you know, I don't like to see the people lose. I wish at the end everybody kind of won. But yeah, I watched it here in the Central East, man, and they all, you know, Michael Chandler lives here. And so they were going banankers for him. And his wife came back. She went home and watched it and then came back to the bar after. And she was, they were all cheering when she came in. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was just a hopeful time. There was something hopeful about it. There was something exciting about it. Especially at a time when big business is winning everything, it feels like, and the little man has been knocked down. And then you see a man like Dustin, who's not a little man, but you see him say, hey, not today. Not on my watch. And I'm done fanboying, but I was stoked for him. The guy's been on quite a journey, and he has to prove himself every time. And I think a lot of us can relate to that journey of just constantly having to prove ourselves. So, man, but it was definitely exciting.
I'm just sitting on your front porch, wondering how could I be so far from my home, and my mind is somewhere else, but when I find it, I'll patch up where it's been blown.